The legend of the Rollright Stones. The Rollright Stones are a cluster of three megalithic monuments located near the village of Long Compton on the border between Oxfordshire and Warwickshire in England. The three monuments are 1. The King's Men, which is a stone circle, 2. The Whispering Knights, which is actually a portal tomb, and 3. The King's Stone, which is a more imposing and somewhat strangely shaped single monolith. There's an interesting legend about how the stones came to be and how they got their names. Features a lot of tropes common to stories about British megalithic monuments. We have the classic people being turned to stone, stones going to the river to drink, and the rumour that the stones in the circle can never be accurately counted 3 times in a row, which is a bit of a pain as local law says that anyone who can count them to the same figure 3 times in a row will either be cursed or obtain their heart's desire. A hopeful baker once came up with the ingenious idea of laying a loaf of bread on each stone to help him count them, but as he went round counting and attempting to collect the loaves, he found they'd been stolen by the fairies or by the devil, depending on the version. Now, before you think this is all a load of totally made-up hogswash, let me tell you this. Those who have surveyed the stones, even with all the modern technology we have available now, they can't agree on the number of stones, and the counts range from around 58 to 105, so that's a big difference. Far more unusually, the legend of the stones features a witch, and in this case in the role of a good guy, so naturally I absolutely adore this story. Sometimes this witch is a nameless local. Other times she is the infamous Yorkshire-based seer Ursula Southhill, better known to history as Mother Shipton. Although the Viking king is often left nameless, some versions say that he is Rollo, Duke of Normandy, an ancestor of William the Conqueror. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. The legend of the Rollright Stones. Once upon a time, an invading Viking leader was riding across the country with his army. They were bent on pillaging and conquering the land. A local witch heard them coming. Now, frankly, by now the Saxons have had enough of the Viking raids, and the witch is determined to save her locality from yet more of their hassle. So, the witch runs out of her home and blocks the path of the Viking army, just a few steps away from the crest of the ridge, from where you can see the local village of Long Compton that lies in the valley below. The witch calls out to the wannabe king, 7 long strides shalt thou take, and if Long Compton thou canst see, then King of England thou shalt be. Well, the Viking leader is rather excited by this prospect, so he rushes forward with large strides, as apparently he was a very tall man, yelling, "Stick, stock, stone, as King of England I shall be known." However, the witch of course had a plan up her sleeve, and with her magic caused the land in front of the wannabe king to rise up and block his view of the valley below, stopping him from seeing Long Compton and fulfilling the spell. The ridge still exists today. The witch then said, "As Long Compton thou canst not see, King of England thou shalt not be. Rise up, stick, and stand still, stone, for King of England thou shalt not be known. Thou and thy men grey stones shall be, and I myself an elder tree." The witch immediately turned the king and his army to stone. The king became the single king's stone, and the army became the stones of the king's men circle not far away. Now, while all the yelling was going on between the witch and the wannabe king, 4 of his men started retreating, not liking the look of the witch or the way things were going. As they were retreating, they whispered treason and rebellion against their leader, and a few less than complimentary comments about the witch. The witch duly heard them, and to ensure they didn't go and raid the local villages or get any ideas themselves on becoming king, she turned the 4 whispering men into the 4-stone tomb that's now known as the Whispering Knights. After dealing with the threat, the witch decided that she was indeed going to have to keep an eye on them to make sure that her magic would continue working down through the years and keep the area protected from this Viking army. Last thing she wanted was them turning back to humans after she died and wreaking havoc. So, as she'd said earlier, she backed away a bit, found a good spot to keep an eye on the stones, and transformed herself into an elder tree. Now, the elder tree is intimately linked with witches and witchcraft. Witches were often said to be able to change themselves into elders, and many goddesses of witchcraft and magic spirits were said to live in the elder or to be able to change into one, such as the German goddess of magic, Frau Holle, or the Danish Hildemor, or Mother Elder. Elders are also deeply connected with magical protection, so it was a perfect choice for the witch. There are several elder trees near the monument, and sadly which one is the witch is no longer known. But should any foolish man cut down the elder tree, the witch's spell will be undone, and the Vikings will go on the rampage again. So perhaps it's best that we don't know, and we all just leave the elder trees there doing their thing for the birds, bugs, and us to enjoy. The legend continues that every night when the clock of the local church strikes midnight, the king's stone comes alive briefly and goes to a nearby river to drink. When the clock strikes the witching hour, it's the witch's turn to drink. It's also said that on certain saints' days, the king's men come alive. Despite being turned to stone, folklore suggests that the Whispering Knights have never actually stopped whispering, and are still whispering to each other even today. This may be the origin of the local custom where young men and women would go and listen to the stones in the hope of hearing the name of the person that they would marry. In the intervening years, it's been said that fairies have taken up residence in caverns they've created from beneath the king's men all the way to the king's stone, and they're said to dance in and around the stone circle each night. Thanks for listening. See you in the next video.